Well, I slept really good. Got a lot of water. But I really love this tent. And coincidentally, they manufacture these just a few miles from here, really about 40 miles, 50 miles up to the northeast in West Melbourne. It used to be called June Park. It's a Z-Pack duplex. And I like it because it's easy to set up, super light. It packs down to about maybe a football size, and I don't think it weighs 2 pounds. It's the that carbon fiber Dyneema material, and it's perfectly symmetrical, so that it has a vestibule and an opening on either side. I use it alone. I've slept in it with my wife, but I use it alone. I can put all my gear and everything inside. I use the vestibule for my shoes and things like that. But yeah, Z-Pack duplex, and Z-Pack's is in West Melbourne, Florida, just up the road. So today it's going to be about getting water. It really is. But this is the campsite. I think it's called Hidden Hammock in the Lake Wales Ridge State Forest. You see east. And this is where this moisture comes from. This land wants to be a desert. It wants to. It's just so dry. But just like I was getting that breeze yesterday, that's what I guess saves these trees too. All right, so I'm gonna get a little tea and get moving. Okay, well, I'm just doing a little walkthrough. I've gone through and picked up everything. And then I generally pick up, there's always some kind of micro trash around. I pick up micro trash. So I'm off and running. I got my tea and my water bottle. I have no onboard water. I drank 3 liters of water last night, and it's that dilemma of when you need the water, it's not going to your cells right away. You really got to stay ahead of it. Now I just drink as needed versus taking a timed approach. Other than I'll pre-drink a little bit. I'll make sure I drink a liter on the way driving out here, stuff like that. But you can't force your body to assimilate, you know, a liter of water, 2 liters of water in an hour. So it takes all night really to get back hydrated. I'm hydrated now, but normally I'll go into camp, I'll go in with 2 liters. I'll drink and cook with 1, and I'll carry 1 out. That's generally my plan. I drank 3 liters over the night last night. So what I'm carrying is this little bit of tea that I have. And then I just gotta hoof it to the most likely water source, which is gonna be a day use area near the lake. And you know, I wanted to see it, but I didn't have to. And what I really want to do is find a couple of those sand pine species, the gay feather, the Florida blazing star, and the pygmy fringe tree, which I'm in prime habitat for both of those, oak scrub, pine scrub. And they only grow here. Well, predominantly they only grow, you know, in this little belt, nowhere else in the world. So I'll keep looking for them, but that water took over last night. That was that took over any other of my priorities, and that was rough and uncomfortable. You know, it's not Death Valley. I wasn't in danger, but it was very uncomfortable. Much more uncomfortable than the weight of carrying an extra liter when I crossed a moving, really nice looking stream, Livingston Creek. It had been a long carry, but I'll tell you, there's another species in this area, the sand skink. They leave a little S-shaped pattern in the sand, and they say they're endangered. They could be, but they're there right there. They're just really good at hiding. They don't let you get 15 feet from them. I don't know how they detect you coming, but you see them up ahead. They're little brownish skinks, kind of broad to the ground, fast, and man, they bolt. They don't mess around. All you get to see is their little pattern they put in the sand. But all right, well, I'm gonna just get motoring, and I mean, it's I don't know, it's pretty early, but that sun is coming, and it's just dry. This land, we're about 27 degrees 40 minutes latitude. So you take 27 2/3 latitude around the world, and you're in desert. You're in the Sahara Desert. You're in the Chihuahua Desert. You're in desert. This land, if it weren't for the Gulf Stream predominantly, it'd be desert. It wants to be desert. The air won't let it, and that breeze, just like yesterday, that breeze really saved me. But all right, I'm gonna get motoring. I'll check in with you later. Hopefully with some water. Oh well, I don't know that 1 liter would have made that big of a difference hauling it all that way, but it sure been more comfortable and less behind the power curve. You know, less internally dehydrated at the cellular level. So I just flushed up a bob white quail. They're hard to catch on film because they're up and gone, but they like to get on these little trails to feed, you know, in the low grass. But you'll hear them call kind of a bob white. There he goes. Listen for him. Hear him? Hear him up there. There he goes. There he goes. I couldn't tell if that was a bald eagle or an osprey. It might be a young bob. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw that quail. That's that eagle up on the top of that snag. Yeah, that's a bald eagle. The osprey just don't get that big. They sound similar though. Here it comes. The osprey just aren't that big. It must be a young one because its coloring's not perfect. But he's up ahead. There's a lot going on here this morning. It's actually kind of a cool little breeze right now. The sun's out. It's not. There's probably 8:15, maybe a little later. That sun's kind of high, but this area right here will be brutal this afternoon. I'll be out of it by then, but it's kind of pretty now. I got a nice breeze. But this is pine scrub. This is where you find that fringe tree or that Florida bright star, that little purple flower. It won't be flowering right now though, I don't think, but the fringe tree should be. And this is where you find it. This is a real sandy pine scrub. It's just, it's just miles of it too. Just, you can see, when you see the tops of these pines in the distance, way in the distance, that's 3 miles. That's Hall Road. And there was a time when I came around the south end of that fringe, and I was looking over here at the Arbuckle shore, right there, and all you could see was the top. So you could look 6 miles over these palmettos, and all you could see was kind of the tops of those big flat top pines. I couldn't find any cypress. I did find some bay, but I tried to bushwhack in there a little bit, get water, but it just got to where, generally if you're bushwhacking, you're already in trouble. You've already made a mistake. So just don't go and make things worse. Just get back to your trail and walk a longer distance to get water or whatever it is you need. But don't just take off across that stuff. You just go from bad to worse when you do that, generally. Just stay on a trail or a Jeep road of some sort and make good time. They usually put those roads in expeditiously, getting point A to point B. They're not out sightseeing when they manage this land, so get on them and go. But I tried a little bit because I could kind of see bay in the distance, but it's just so dry. Sometimes here I'm sure that'd be wet. But where I'm most used to hiking, you generally just find a cypress dome and go for it, and there'll be water there. I haven't seen a cypress tree I haven't seen a single one, but you'll see a cypress dome or a little bay head surrounded by some wet weather species, and just head on into it. I haven't seen anything like that. We've got elderberry, but anyhow, so I'm gonna get through this stuff while it's the morning. And again, I'm looking out for a couple of those things, but my principal interest is getting water because I'm gonna need it. We're gonna be right back into that afternoon out here, and you just thank God for that breeze, man. All right, I'll check in with you later. And this is odd for me here. It's kind of a sunshine mimosa, but it's got real good thorn growth. It's got that purple plume that'll eventually turn into the flower. That's where the seeds will come underneath that. They'll die away, and then the seeds will be right here. But it's just odd because we got it in our yard at home. It intermixes with the Pensacola Bahia grass. Makes a nice, easy to keep Florida-friendly yard. It's a native species. That one, it's got the purple plumes, but it's it's got thorns, and I know it's a briar. I've never seen thorns on ours, frankly, and most of the briar stem stays underground. But it's only in this patch right here. I've seen 3 or 4 of them. So I'll just have to look that up and see what it is. But it's got the little orange powder puff looking things. See right here, back in there. Little purple plumes. I don't know what you call them, but and it's just in this little patch right here. Some more of it right here. Look at that. This is all I've seen of it. But I'm sure it's going to be all through here. But it's thorny. Thorny little guy. Ours don't have thorns. I've never encountered a thorn. But anyhow. All right. Well, I gotta start moving. I keep doing this stuff with these little plants and all. And, I gotta get as much distance as I can behind me in this mild temperature. Yeah, it's all through here. There's more of it right there. Real nice one there. I don't know. I'll figure it out. All right. Check in with you later. Well, we're back here on School Bus Road. This is that creek I crossed earlier where you can see what I'm saying. If you come across a little creek and it's dry, you can just hike it into a bayhead. And you know, ideally you'd see cypress in there, but there's no cypress. And I'm thinking about doing it now. But look at here. I mean, these are 2 big, I don't know, 36-inch culverts. It's kind of spongy at the bottom, but you see how you'd have to hike it back and hope to find standing water. I'm gonna give it a look, because I ain't got to go far, and there's a couple of low spots in there. And believe it or not, I could probably get some water there. And sometimes you can get it out of the culvert, but a lot of times in culverts, that's where gators like to sit. And gators are funny, man. Well, it's not funny, I guess. It makes sense. The bigger the home, the bigger the gator. The bigger the tributary into a creek, the bigger the gator. They like to hold the junctions on those tributaries, and the bigger the tributary, typically the bigger the gator. They I guess jockey for position. And so when I see a 36-inch pipe, they don't mind filling the whole thing. So I'll be real careful. There's no question about that. All right, so I'm gonna check this out, see what I can find. I ain't gonna go far though. All right, we'll see what happens. So I told myself a little while back, as soon as some shade crosses the trail, I'm gonna get this merino wool nylon t-shirt off. I slept like a baby last night. I probably got down to the 60s, low 60s. Breezy. It was just real nice. Slept like a baby. But there's just no shade. I just stuffed myself on these two little blessed scrub oaks. It's the only time the shade touches the trail. And you can see, I mean, I left that road 2 miles. Look at the sandhill cranes up over that's the lake over there, up over the lake. But anyhow, so I'm just gonna get this t-shirt off of me and pack back up and keep moving. All right, we're off and running. It's gonna be hot. Got to get that t-shirt off. All right, here we go. So I've left the yellow trail and I'm on the blue trail now towards the interior. At that junction, the sign said 1 mile Lake Arbuckle, which was tempting because it's 1 mile to water. But I kind of wanted to stay in the scrub to hope to find those stupid plants. But 2 miles to Lake Godwin, I think it is. 1-0. But see this nice pine scrub here. You know, I didn't want to get too, well, I mean, it's 2 miles to the lake, the small lake, Godwin, or I could have hiked a mile to Arbuckle and a mile back, or kept going on the yellow route. But the yellow route kind of goes through, I think it's called Jenny Blue Swamp or something like that, a little swampy area. It's going to be dry, which would be nice to hike it this time of year, but it's not where I'll find my plants. I ain't no professional botanist or none of this. I don't know, I just want to see them. But anyhow, so there's a nice little shade. There's a decent sized scrub oak. That's kind of a scrub live oak. Just a subspecies of live oak, I guess. It's just dwarfed. And I kind of grew up amongst them, frankly. You get the little scrubs, they used to come and pick at your ring, or if you got a little bit of old Christmas tinsel, they'll get it off your fence and put it in their nest. I don't know why. But I like those little scrub jays. They're highly endangered because this, you know, this kind of soil you want to develop on, well drained, big high dome, easy to build on, easy to clear. Unfortunately, but so I'm gonna motor on back here to Lake Godwin. Hopefully, see what I'm looking for. If not, it's okay. There's an old farmhouse back here. I think they renovated it. Might try to find it too. If it's not too far off the path. If I have water, I'll go find it. If I ain't got water, I don't think it'd be wise. But so I'm off and running 2 miles. Try to make that in 30, 35 minutes. Don't do a lot of filming. Just don't look at a lot of plants. Just kind of keep moving, keep a good pace. 16 minute mile pace. But all right, well. I'm not sure where I'm at, but it's a welcome sight. Some sort of, looks like a deer, kind of deer tagging outfit, but they got water. And I barely left that trail. I was kind of ready to hoof it for a 2 mile sprint through the scrub. But man, I found this nice. This is a kind of a oak hammock. Kind of gives it this natural cleared setting, park-like setting. I don't think this is that historic cabin. I mean, it's built in that fashion, the old cypress, lap-sided cypress, and it's cool looking. I don't know what it is. There's some signs up here. I see an orange trail, or red trail, looks like. But I'll figure all that out later. Right now, I'm just gonna water up, eat my cereal. Yeah. It's breezy, it's nice in here, man. What a difference. Look at these big, beautiful live oaks. Always there to take care of us. Some kind of, some sort of cistern. I don't know what in the world. I don't know, I guess they pump it up there. I don't know. I'll be filtering this for sure. Well, this place has been an emotional roller coaster. That water is dry. It's a well. I found a little well, but the power's cut off to it, and there's no breaker, nothing like that. There's a little bit of a happy ending though. There's a little water system, there's a switch and all, and they fill up that cistern. I guess I don't know if they dress deer or clean it up there. And looks like there's bathrooms back there, but porta potties or something. But I guess this is like the camping, deer hunting check station, and they must have buried, I don't see their power coming in here, so they must have buried it, and it comes up in one of them buildings, in the breaker box in them buildings, so I can't turn that well on. But some dear soul left about 8 bottles of just little cheap bottled water. And they look like crap, but they ain't been opened, and I'm going to filter it. And that's just how it goes. You know, I've filtered water out of way worse than old bottled water, I'll tell you that. And that filter just does an amazing thing. But somebody stashed about 8 bottles of little Niagara water or whatever. But like I said, they They don't look too great, but they're sealed and they hadn't been opened. They've just been sitting in the dirt back there for who knows how long. But I'm gonna filter it and probably put a little Mirror Pure or whatever it's called tablet in there. Let them sit for a little bit and eat my cereal and drink some water. And then it's another probably 2 miles, 1.75 miles to that Lake Godwin. All right, I'll check in with you later. This is bare naked granola with chocolate and coconut. It's just, I think it's just delicious. I think coconut almonds or chocolate. It's just delicious. And then I put some, it's a Nestle's product. It's kind of marketed towards Spanish people. Nida, I think their babies, they give it to their young children. It's delicious. Just dehydrated milk is all it is. But it just, I don't know, they kind of get it a little bit of a, I don't know, kind of creamy vanilla flavor. I don't know how, probably palm gum or something, palm oil or something. But it's good. It really tastes just like whole milk. But it's good. It's just granola, little chunks of chocolate and I think coconut shreds. I can't eat it anywhere else. A third of a cup is about 200 calories. I eat 2 cups. No, I think a half a cup is like 200 something calories. But again, I'll eat a cup and a half for if I was at home. I can't do that. I can't do that. Be fat as a tick. Just delicious though. So damn good. Packed down light. Tons of calories per ounce. That's what you're looking for. 150 plus calories per ounce. That's good water. Kind of hard leaving that spot, that little oak hammock surrounded by live oak. This is kind of the, it's not flowering, but it's real smooth, velvety, olivey. I mean, it looks like this might be it. I just don't know. It's not flowering, so I'll have to check that out. And really, some of the only ways you can identify somebody is when they flower. But see how it looks like we used to call them a swamp olive or scrub olive, but they're actually a pygmy fringe tree, but it's all the olive family or Florida olive. It does look like it, but real smooth underneath, soft, like almost like a felt. And you'll see them around. You don't see them much, but you see them around these little hog plum. Look like a. They're the first to emerge out of some of this burn is the hog plum and the Chapman oak and thing like that, and those are just slower growing, so they don't come up as fast. But oh, that might have been one. I wish it was flowering, but it's It's just real dry. Might be late in the season for that. It could have flowered already, but I think that is one. This is kind of like what I was sleeping in last night. This cutthroat. They call this cutthroat grass. What this is called a cutthroat seep. You can see that the broom straw gets a little taller there, and then behind it is that kind of that flag pond. That'll be wet a good part of the year. And this cutthroat grass, it'll flow just like this. It'll flow through the woods like a river, and that's just what it is. They call them cutthroat seeps. There's more of that hog plum. They call it a cutthroat seep. It's as water literally seeps through that thin layer of sand, usually connecting bay heads. You don't find standing water in it. It's not I mean, you certainly, if you're looking, and I thought about it back there. I crossed one on the yellow trail, but and I slept in it last night. But yeah, you don't find standing water, and I think most of it'll get on the surface, but most of it's just under the surface, and it'll move all through these bay heads. You do find here's a little ditch right here. Look at how they put it'll be dry as a bone. No, volunteers put this in here, and I'll bet you there's times of year that this is even underwater. Look how dry that is. But there's a good example of a cutthroat seeping. And then this wasn't cut. It just made its way through here, and it'll connect bay head to bay heads. That's why I'm saying when you're crossing this, it's dry. You know, follow it either direction. It's usually not too hard. Look how much debris laid across there, but it's usually not too hard to walk. And you got to watch out for snakes, though, man. They like that cool, wet ground for a good reason. But that's a cutthroat seep. There ain't a lot of those. Ain't a lot of those left in the world. But cutthroat grass. All right, check in with you later. So look, see what I'm saying? See how it kind of looks like a river through there. And anything unusual, I mean, we got miles and miles of gallberry and palmetto, and anything unusual, you kind of want to check it out. If you're a deer hunter or turkey hunter, you want to set up over a cutthroat seep. I mean, that's the connection between those two wet environments. You can even see in the distance, way over, it almost looks like a pond, but what is that? It's reddish now, but it's broom straw because it's just so dry. It'll be green, you know, in the wet season, of course. And that cutthroat grass, for some reason, stays pretty green. Here it is right here. It stays pretty green no matter what. I don't know how it does it, but we'll be stepping out of it. And you kind of step, when you're around these bay heads like that, you kind of step in and out of it, but when you step out of it, you're long gone because you've gotten away from that bay head. Here's another one. See how it looks like he almost looks like a little river. Kind of looks like a little river flowing through there. Well, because it is in a little ways. And look, there we go. Sure enough, there's another little depression in broom straw. So that's how that system works. So I guess if I was a deer hunter, I'd probably sit up in that tree with a bow and arrow if it was me. Oh, look at here. Look at this. It's real predictable. See, this right here should be flowing full in the summertime. Look at that. That's a cutthroat seep. All right, but we won't see those for a little while. Pretty soon, probably. There it goes there. And I'll cross into that bay head over there. Just say about the turkey. There's turkey right there. See that turkey? You can see his head bobbing against that, running around that. Look at her go. You don't want to mess with it. So this place here has pretty much been just plowed through by wild hogs. They've just overturned every inch of it, looking for whatever wild hogs eat, grubs and stuff. But that turkey, I don't see a drop of nothing. It's real wet in here. Looks like a deer scraped on that or rubbed on that one. I don't see any surface water whatsoever, so she might have been here just getting some of these green shoots. It's hard to say, but she went right around that upended stump there and over in those palmettos. But that's, you know, that's just their little highway. These seeps are very, very important for that. One thing is they're kind of low. You can look around and see how we kind of keep a low profile. We're low, you know, just a little bit low, but it's low enough for a deer or turkey certainly, or bobcat, panther, to move around without being detected. So they're real important, just real important. I'm gonna get up out of here. Man, them hogs, it's amazing what they can do. Unless you've seen it, you don't believe it. You think it's some kind of man-made machinery, but God, they're just so powerful. And they do some damage. This cutthroat grass too, it forms these dense clumps. You don't really want to go tromping off through it, because underneath that real dense clump is little passageways for snakes and rodents. They go together, but mostly snakes is what I'm worried about. The indigo snake still lives in here. We used to catch them all the time as kids and sell them to pet stores. I guess that's led to their near demise. They're real docile. You can catch them wild, pick them up, carry them around all day, let them go again. That's what we used to do. We weren't allowed to bring them home. But anyhow, okay, well, I'm gonna keep moving. All right, well, you know, again, I'm in one of these big long reaches of just dry. It's still, I got water now, but man, it's a tough little patch. There was an author that writes about these things, Florida native plants and different things, and he said, Florida's not a paradise, it's a paradox. And it's just so true. 40 miles east of here, around Vero Beach, you have coconuts, coconut palms, papaya, guava growing. You hardly have a palm tree of any kind here other than palmettos. Here's some kind of woodpecker with that white banded tail. I'll have to look that one up. He keeps crisscrossing me. Looks like a woodpecker, and he real deep white banded tail. I'll look for that one. But so you have papaya and guava 40 miles east of here. Couldn't grow anything like that here. You get guava north of there, around Melbourne, West Melbourne area, and you don't get guava anymore. You get papaya, you don't get guava anymore. Big freezes in the 80s killed a lot of citrus, killed all the guava. Just don't see it anymore. But it's kind of a bridge. This ground, it wants to be a desert. It's just the sky won't let it, the seas won't let it. You're just too close to marine environments, no matter where you are in the state. But man, it feels like a desert right now, let me tell you. And I got a feeling all these animals have got to be huddled up around the permanent water sources, and you know, they got to drink several times a day, just like me and you. So they're not going to hike it 3 or 4 miles every time they need to get a drink. They're going to stay close. So that's why you see that, you know, the turkey and the quail back there in near that cutthroat seep. They're not going far. But there's a long patch right here. I'm coming up on Lake Godwin somewhere up in here, but still a little shy about my water. I'll get a drink here in a minute. But anyhow, I'll check in with you later. Hello. That was a nice little break. I filled up with water like crazy, but there's a nice man down there on the end of that dock enjoying Lake Godwin. So I didn't do any filming, but there I'm on the north end of the lake now. Actually back out in the scrub, get to test my windsock. It's just beautiful, man. Get down there, it's quiet. Water was clear. I got me 2 liters of it. You can see the dock there. And the guy, old fella sitting there. Nice old guy there from Lake Wales. But if you go along here, back in that cutthroat grass on this trail, but you'll see little game trails lead into that lake. And they'll be pretty well traveled, in fact. You just gotta kind of find you one. You also might see a seep, you know, something like this right here. Look at there. It's where this ground, see how it goes into the lake? It ain't much higher, but it's probably a couple of feet higher. That dome, it'll hit that hard pan and flow through the sand layer. And this is a tiny little cutthroat seep. So if you just picture it blue like water, that's what it looks like. And then you can generally follow that seep in to get you to some standing water, because the animals sure do, including snakes and rodents. So you don't go in there unless you have to. Because the problem is, middle of the day, you generally, especially a day like this, about 1 o'clock, it's hot. Everything's kind of holed up. But under that grass, it's nice and cool, especially on the north end of that lake. That breeze will kind of make its way through that grass. So they don't really have to go off too far. All right, well, we're gonna be getting back in the scrub here in a minute, and I think I got about three miles to the trailhead. So I got plenty of water. There's another one. It's just how they work over and over again. Look at that game trail right there. Look at that trail through that seep. That's gonna be deer and like everything else. Well, missed a trail sign and headed off to the west a good ways. God, it hurts. It's a dry patch too. I got plenty of water. I just took a little break and watered up, but I'm back on. The blue trail meets up with School Bus Road. I think this is School Bus Road. If it is, I'd love to see that trip, the little Arbuckle children on the school bus. Anyhow, so looks like I got about 2 miles to the trailhead. So I took a little break and watered up, got a little snack. I'm just gonna kind of move it on out. I might try to figure out what road I'm on. I think I'm on School Bus Road, but I'm not sure. Could be that tram road, but I think the tram road is, well, further to the west, but they may split off, so I gotta figure that out. All right, let me do that and I'll check in with you later. All right, this is School Bus Road. Should have known it's that Georgia red clay the whole way. Still be a lot of fun for the kids. The road I was on was called Lake Godwin Road. It's just real dry. And I walked this for another, I think it's a mile, like an even mile to a camp, and then the trail picks up again, heads over the trailhead. It's not very far, 1.5 miles or so. So it's been tough. First thing my wife will say is, "Did you have fun?" I'm like, "Well, fun. I don't know. I guess it's fun. It doesn't seem like it, but I'll do it again. I mean, I'll do it over and over again. So I get something out of it. I love it. It's just a different kind of fun, I guess. Yeah, I guess just a different kind of fun. All right, well, this is what I'll be doing for the next probably 20 minutes. This hat saved my life, and that breeze, man, if it wasn't for that breeze, I'd be in big trouble. You will see that sugar sand. You can see it here. You get on some of them roads, it's tough to get through. You'll get on them where the vehicles have been on it, and where you get a little bit of a rise, where it gets no moisture. It's the same as any sand around it. It's just that it's void of any organics. It doesn't sustain any kind of plant life anymore. There's no root structure. So you can be walking on it and you'll see that kind of sedge grass right there and that broom straw. Well, if you put that under a lot of stress, it'll die out, and once that root structure is gone, that'll be sugar sand, and it'll look just like that piece over there. You try to walk on that, man, it's tough. You kind of break through the top crust and then sink down a couple inches every step. So you try to stay on the shady paths, and it's not shady for you, it's shady for your feet and shady for the trail, where it can sustain some vegetation. So this is what I'm gonna be doing for a while. All the food I got left, I just couldn't eat it last night. It's just my mouth was too dry to be eating pure almond butter. This pack almond butter is 220 calories. I could have used it probably, but I just couldn't. Peanut butter and dry mouth just don't go together. Do they, Pee Wee Menard? Me and Pee Wee Menard used to deliver papers together, and for kicks we'd go smoke a big locally grown joint, and without drinking anything go to Mr. Donut and try to eat a peanut donut each of us, and just laugh, just sit there and laugh. The paper boys, the lady didn't have any idea what was going on. She just thought we were goofy. We were. That's just a mixture of some isolated protein. It's kind of just a regular protein powder, just a lot more expensive, but it gets real watery. It doesn't stay milky like the regular whey protein. And about equal parts just straight up dextrose. But it spares my quads. I feel like my quads have a chance to heal, you know, next day or what have you. Just, you got to get it 15 to 30 minutes after you stop. You just kind of chug it down and let it go to work. It's sweet, kind of like tastes like little yoo-hoos. not terrible. It's sweet. That was a total of about 18 miles plus 2 or 3 I've walked in the wrong direction. It's easy to do, man. I don't pay attention. I'll tell you the most important thing. When you get to an area that's like joint use, if a car can pull up there, or horses, or mountain bikes. I was at Lake Godwin's where I was. There were some people there on like a guided plant tour or something, I don't know. And then there was an old guy I spent some time with out on the end of the dock. And I was all refreshed and ready to go, all packed up, and just kept on the direction I was going on the blue trail, and I was heading west back to where the blue trail intersects the yellow trail over on the other side of the track. I got a pretty good ways before I realized something's wrong. Man, that'll hurt you, because that was a sunny, dry. There were a lot of sunny, dry patches, but that was one of them. And then get back, there was a farm road, a forest road that kind of took you back a more direct route than circling back south to the lake. But it was that sugar sand, so that's why I paid my price. I walked through. I don't think it was a total of a mile, but several hundred yards of sugar sand road and stuff. That's just part of it, That's my wife says you have fun. No, I guess. I don't know how to categorize it. It's tough. It takes you kind of to the edge sometimes, where you wonder what you're doing out there. But I just love it. I just really love it, and I never regret it. And it's something to think about and talk about later. And you can work on your skills for sure, and work on your gear. And that's what I've got left. I never felt hungry. In fact, I had a hard time finishing my supper last night. I screwed up on water, but paid the price. I try to keep as little trash as I can, but struggling with that. I hate having this much trash. Try not to put bags inside of bags, but I have to work on that OCD side. And when you're getting ready, it's just like when you're getting ready, you keep packing things. You think, what if this and what if that? Well, that just never happens. So you try to pack less and less and less. Well, it's the same thing with rebagging things, You get all caught up in organizing, and I'm counting probably 6 of these little single serving, portion type bags. I just love those things, but I don't know how else to do it. I do reusable, but then probably reusable is what I'll do. Just take it home and wash it, put it in the dishwasher or something, but you have to find that size, and I might just do that. I might look for that. But that is it. That's my last recovery drink. Bag inside of a bag. It all goes in the trash. I think there's all my water too. I got tons of it in the car. I brought it with me, but that's all my water. All right, well, that's been the Arbuckle track of the Lake Wales Ridge State Forest. It's the dry prairie of Florida. It's dry. They had to find cows that could stand it out here. They had to go find cows that were so rugged they'd run through your barbed wire. And then breed into them to try to calm them down. They got the Brahmas. It's rough, tough out there. So anyhow, thanks for watching. you.